Hello, good afternoon. This is David Stoddard talking to you. Today is my weekly trade predictions for the upcoming trading week of October 21st through October 25th, right here, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all the major currency pairs and give you my predictions of what I think is going to happen this coming week based on what has happened this past week, and then I'm going to compare, what has happened this past week to larger time frames, and then try to show you or give you my analysis on what I think is going to happen this coming week. So to begin with, I'm going to look at I want to look at EURUSD right here, okay? And we see that it has been going up. Also, if we look at GBPUSD, we see almost the same pattern. It's been slowly going up this past week, and same thing with Australian dollar, US dollar. All right, what that means, if these three pairs are going up, normally that means the US dollar is dropping. Okay, if one goes up, the other has to come down. Okay, so if we go to the USD CHF, for example, we see that yes, it has definitely been dropping this past week. Same with USD Japanese yen. Normally USD Japanese yen, USD JPY will go in the opposite direction from what USD CHF does, but not always. So we do see that USD JPY was more of a flat range of motion this past week, and also we see US dollar Canadian dollar has definitely dropped this past week. So we know the US dollar has definitely weakened. Okay, so begin with as far as our analysis this week, I want to look at EURUSD. Okay, if we look at the 4-hour chart, we see that it looks like it hit a pretty strong level of resistance. Okay, and we see it hit this point before, right? And we can mark this level of resistance where it hit numerous times in the past. Okay, it came up, broke the resistance right here, formed a support, and then bounced off of that, and then broke the support again, became a resistance, and is still a resistance till this moment. Okay, now if you look closely, if you zoom in closely here, we see that it broke ever so slightly. So this is kind of a hint that it will continue to go up. Okay, now if we look at the daily chart, we see that it's still shooting up. Okay, if I reload my indicator here, all right, we see that it's still going up in an uptrend, right? So there we go. Shift that chart. So I'm thinking, and it has risen quite a bit in the past few days. Right, this past week was very sharp. So long term, this is definitely going to be going up. Okay, so I feel that this is going to break that level of resistance just like it did before. Okay, the next level of resistance is going to be right here. Okay, let me zoom in so you can see that. All right, you see that this is where the price is right now, right here. Okay, it was a level of resistance before, right? Or level of resistance and support, but the next level of resistance is right here where it hit before. Okay, and what I would do is I would put a buy stop pending order, about 300 or 400 points above here, and then I take profit, a few hundred points below. But if you look at the crosshairs, right, from here to here, you're looking at about 800 points, right? 800 pips of profit. So you can easily get about 500 pips if it breaks this week. And I do feel strongly that it will. Now, the only thing is, see on a 4-hour chart, you have a down arrow. Okay? Now, this does not mean that this is solid, 100% guaranteed that it's going to drop. Only thing you have to do is simply draw a trend line coming up like this and wait for that trend line to break. If this trend line breaks, then we have a solid downtrend coming. Okay, but I honestly do not foresee that. Now, I would, if I was you, I would look for buy opportunities only, especially on like a 15-minute chart. wait for this to drop, and then you can place a buy trade, okay? And you see here a nice, beautiful uptrend right here, okay? Try to draw a trend line for you. I just want to kind of show you this is your uptrend, okay? If it breaks this trend line on the 15-minute chart, then definitely sell, okay? So anyhow, moving on, GBPUSD is pretty much in the same boat, right? Same situation. If we look at the 4-hour chart, go to the 4-hour, we see it hit a strong level of resistance. I have to refresh my indicator every time. All right, so right here, I don't know why it's acting up. So right there, we hit a strong level of resistance right there. We can mark that, okay? That's very notable. And the market makers or banks or whoever is controlling the market pretty much did that on purpose, okay? We also see a beautiful, beautiful uptrend right here, okay? So all we have to do is wait for this trend line to break or that resistance to break, okay? I would probably put a buy stop pin and order above here, and then just use a Fibonacci, draw from this down arrow up to this arrow, and put a sell stop pin order a little bit below the 23.6 level, and a take profit a little bit above this 38.2 level, okay? So either way, you'll get profit. I'm thinking it's going to break and keep going up, because if you look at the daily chart, well, we have a down arrow, but the weekly chart, I know for a fact, only has an up arrow. Okay, so you know, like I said, this, if you draw here, I think I showed this before, but we notice we have a downtrend right here. Okay, I showed you this last week, and we notice now that this is definitely broken. We are now in official uptrend. Okay, so I would do this week is I would be looking for buy opportunities only. Same like EURUSD, right? So this is more than likely going to drop, but in the end, you know, we're going to wait for a buy opportunity. I would probably switch to like a 15-minute chart, and then you can hop in on a buy. Okay, if you get to a 15-minute chart and you draw a uptrend like that, then either it's going to bounce off of this or it's going to drop. Either way, wait for a buy opportunity. Okay, wait for a blue arrow. And then AUDUSD is almost the same boat. We had a flat range of market at the beginning of the week, and then towards the end it finally shot up. So if we look at like a 4-hour chart, okay, let me load the 4-hour chart. All right, we see that it hit a level of resistance that it hit before, but yet there's still, if we mark this right here, there's still another level of resistance here. So I'm thinking that it's going to continue to go up. If you look at the daily chart, okay, we still have an up arrow here and no down arrow. So we still have room to travel. Okay, and there's still higher levels of resistance that it could potentially go to. All right, do you see this? So, you know, and the weekly chart definitely shows to be going up, although the Excalibur indicator on the weekly is just now starting to go into an uptrend. The thing is, if we draw like a downtrend here like that, it hasn't even broken yet. So we still have a long ways to go before this is like officially in an uptrend, but it's definitely going to an uptrend no matter what. So like I've already said before, I would definitely like if you go to a 15-minute chart, you can just wait for buy opportunities, wait for this to drop some, form a blue arrow, and then you can sell. Okay, it's kind of hard for me to draw a perfect downtrend, but, or I mean uptrend. I'm looking for a trend right here. But either way, wait for this to drop, form a blue arrow, and then you can buy. Okay, I just want to kind of point that out. Very simple. Moving on to US dollar, Swiss franc, USD, CHF, we see almost the same thing, except just the opposite. US dollar has been dropping and formed like a pretty strong level of support. But if we look at the daily, let me load the indicator here. If we look at the daily, okay, it has dropped severely, okay, and we had this nice uptrend. And I told you last week that we don't know if it's going to continue to go up or if it's going to break. Okay? And guess what it has done? It broke the trend line. Okay? Meaning we're going to be in for a long downtrend. Okay? If you go to the weekly chart, okay, we only have a down arrow and no up arrow. So I'm thinking this is just my guess. Okay, I cannot tell you exactly what the forex market will do, but we have a level of support here, and we have one slightly below. Okay, so and then we have yet another right here. You see that? So, and we have some other levels, but anyhow, it's going to come down probably one of these two levels here this coming week. And it's going to take some time. It's not going to happen overnight. But let me resize the chart there. So we got a long ways to travel. How many pips is this? It's about, wow, look at that, almost 1,500 pips. So, that's a lot of pip travel in 1 week. So do not expect it to drop too much. If we go to the 4-hour chart, it looks like it's definitely going to be going down on the 4-hour chart, but like I said, it hit this level of support, so we can let me draw a horizontal line here. This is your level of support as it is right now. Okay, kind of shift that chart. This is on a 4-hour chart. So what we're looking for, is for this to drop, break the support. Now we know long term, overall, this is going to be dropping. It's definitely going to a downtrend, at least according to the weekly chart. But if you go to a smaller time frame, at the 4-hour, 1 hour, it looks like it's going to be going up, at least in the beginning of this week. So if you want, what you can do as of right now is draw, if you go to the 4-hour chart and draw a downtrend coming like this, okay, and you can also draw a Fibonacci from this arrow down to this arrow, right? And you see that 23.6, that is your range, your current range. This is your current resistance, okay? If it does go back up, it will break that 23.6, okay? And it'll break that trend line right at that 23.6, okay? So this is not by accident. This is how the market makers determine where the price is going to go. This is how they map everything out with using the Fibonacci, right? So if there's a reversal, if it comes back up, it's definitely going to break. So you can put a buy stop pending order just above this 23.6, and then you can put your take profit somewhere in this range right here. So you can easily catch a few hundred pips off of this. Also, you can put a sell stop pending order below here. All right, about 100 points or so below here. So if it drops, if it breaks, it's going to definitely come down to like here. It's going to come down to here, and it's going to come down to here. Okay, so we have different levels that's going to drop down to, like an elevator. Okay, I just want you to see this and how you can trade. So you could put a sell stop pending order just below here, and then a small take profit here. Put another sell stop below here, and another take profit here. Another sell stop, another take profit. So we have like different levels, but small pin orders with small take profits at each level. So when the price drops, goes up, drops, goes up, you're going to catch these pin orders at every level, okay? And also that will allow you to not have too many trades open at one time and not for a long time, so you can avoid swap fees, okay? Moving on to US dollar Japanese yen, we see that it has been pretty much in a flat ranging market this past week. It shot up some, it came back down, meaning that the US dollar is very weak. Usually the US dollar is much stronger than the Japanese yen, but right now it's not looking good for either pair, okay? So they're kind of in a gridlock, if you will. Now, if we go to, I want to go to a higher time frame and show you something. All right. Oh, let me look at the indicator. According to the 4 hour here, it is definitely getting ready to drop. Okay, so it hit this level of support, but if we go to the daily, it shows it wants to go up still. It has not hit a level of resistance. And same thing with the weekly, okay? Weekly shows to be going to up for a long trend, long term, right? So what we can expect this week, and since the US dollar is weakened so much, we can expect a drop at least in the first half of the week, but eventually it's going to shoot back up. All right, because the US dollar is still stronger than the Japanese yen, okay? But what I would do, here's kind of what I'm thinking. If we go to the daily right here, okay, and we know we have this right here as our strong level of support right here, but if we come up, draw a up arrow like this, this is our official uptrend according to the daily chart. And until this trend line breaks, we're going to be still in an uptrend, okay? And if you go back to a 4 hour chart, look at this, okay? I'm going to show you this. All right, let me draw a trend line coming up like this. I think that's what I did, right? Yes. So I think the price is going to drop all the way down back to this trend line, okay? That is what I am predicting is going to happen. I cannot guarantee you, but it really looks like that's what's going to happen, right? So what you can do for this pair is in the beginning of the week, you could technically sell, catch a few hundred pips, and then once you hit a level of support on the 1 hour, I would stick to the 1 hour, wait for a blue arrow to form, up arrow, then close the trade, and then place another buy trade. All right, that way you can maximize your pips. Or if you want to be 100% safe, wait a few days for a up arrow, a buy opportunity, and then you can jump into a trade, okay? So if you really want to be safe, just wait it out, wait till like Wednesday, and then you should you should be in a good position to actually buy this currency, okay? Moving on to USD CAD, US dollar Canadian dollar, we see that it definitely dropped this past week, same like the USD Swiss franc. And if we come here to the 4 hour chart, we see that we hit a strong level of support. All right, but the thing is, if we zoom out a bit, we see that it had a level of support here before, but it has broken that, meaning it's more than likely going to keep dropping. If you go to the daily, okay, I want to show you this. Go to the daily load indicator. We only have up arrow. Oh shit, I meant to show you the weekly. The weekly only has a down arrow, okay? So the weekly is a bigger time frame, and it's definitely going to be dropping. If we show you the monthly, it's kind of the same thing, but the monthly is a little bit too broad. But it is definitely wanting to go into a downtrend. If we draw like this, This is your official downtrend according to the monthly. Okay, this is your level of resistance. If it breaks this, we're going to be in an uptrend, but as of right now, we're still going to be in a downtrend. Okay, and we'll also notice that we have a trend line here, right? Kind of like that. And if we go to the weekly, watch this. So what we're looking for, this monthly trend line, this resistance here is a bigger, stronger level of support or resistance versus this trend line here. So this trend line is bigger, this one's smaller. So what I think is going to happen is that the smaller trend line, this one here on the bottom, is going to break, and we're going to have, it's going to be dropping to a downtrend. All right. What you can do is, if you come here to the Fibonacci retracement, draw from this up arrow to this current arrow, 23.6 or 38.2 right here. You see right where it crosses this trend line? You can put a pending order below that. Okay, that's kind of what I would do, because if it breaks that trend line, then it's definitely going to drop down to another level. Okay, and you don't have to use the Fibonacci, but it's going to kind of put that on there. But the thing is, put a pending order a few hundred points below and wait for it to break, and then you can put a take profit for like a few hundred points as well. Okay, we have different levels where it's going to go to. We have a level of support here, a level of support here, a level of support here, and last, a level of support here. Okay, so if it breaks, it's going to drop to this level here and probably bounce up and then eventually break again. It's going to go do like an elevator going through each level. Okay, so you could get how many pips off of this? If it breaks here, shoot, that's almost like 2,000 pips. So you can easily get 1,000 pips off of this deal if it breaks that trend line. Okay, so definitely be looking for this to break. Look for sell opportunities only, even if you go into a 30-minute chart, which is fine, and you see it's already been dropping. But thing is, it looks like it's going to come back up. You know, have an up arrow, which in the grand scheme of things doesn't mean a whole lot, but it's going to probably most likely come back up and hit a level of resistance and drop even further. Okay, so do not be looking to buy USD CAD, be looking to sell. Okay, wait for the perfect moment to sell. I would probably use like a 1 hour or 30-minute chart and wait for this to, you know, go back up, hit a red arrow, and then sell. Okay, even on the 1 hour chart, you have, on the 1 hour chart, if I draw a trend line coming down like this, right? So it'll probably either hit this and break or come back down again. I really cannot tell you what it will do, but either way, wait for a red arrow. Okay, once you have a red arrow, then you are golden for a sell. All right, so anyways, let me know if you have any questions about this weekly analysis, or if you need analysis on another currency pair, I'd be more than happy to try and assist you. Just all I ask is that you give me your analysis and I'll give you mine, and then we can compare notes. Okay, so I really look forward to working with you, helping you. If you do not have my Excalibur trend indicator, then please reach out to me on Facebook and I can send you a copy of this. It's very easy to use. As you can see, all you have are red arrows and blue arrows, and they give you some very strong levels of support and resistance that you can mark. All right, so with that said, let me know if you have any questions. There's a link below in the description of this video for my personal Facebook. Also, there is a link below for my private Facebook group. Okay, if you have not joined my Facebook group, please do so. So at least this way, you can post any questions or comments in my Facebook group, and myself or other traders can assist you. Okay, so with that said, thank you and have a wonderful week ahead.